Alright guys, in this video I'm going to talk about why I bought a Powerstroke instead of the rest of them. Those other guys, you know what I'm talking about. Those Cummins guys, those Duramax guys. But first, I think we should enjoy the sound of America. What's up guys? So today I want to talk a little bit about why I bought a 7.3. Growing up as a kid, my truck's a 2000. Around that time, you know, I was probably 17. And we all know, you know, the Powerstrokes came out was in 97. I always wanted one. I grew up around a lot of rich kids, a lot of rich families, you know, and they all had Powerstrokes, young kids. And I couldn't afford one. My family couldn't afford one. Now I'm 32, so I decided I needed a new truck. And honestly, I don't really need a diesel. I love diesels. But I think that one reason I bought a diesel is all the modifications you do to it. You can keep the truck. To me, you can keep the truck for a lot longer. You get more money's worth out of your modifications, and you know, your lift kit, wheels, tires, things like that. Now specifically the 7.3. I know Ford has some old reputation of the 6.4s, you know, and that's what I would have been looking at in my price range, was probably a 6.4, maybe if I was lucky, an early model 6.7. And don't get me wrong, I love the 6.7s, but me being pretty new to the diesel world, this is my first diesel. I've had friends own diesels, you know, work trucks that I've driven on a daily basis, things like that. The 7.3's got a great reputation. Transmissions don't, but the motor itself does. This truck has 147,000 miles on it. I bought it at 139, and I think that's pretty low mileage for 2000. The truck was pretty well taken care of. There's definitely some issues. I think the first guy who owned it was probably an older guy. I believe I'm a third owner. The second guy who owned it, I think probably a younger guy. I could tell by some of the modifications and some of the way he did his modifications. Now, the reason I chose a 7.3 over a Cummins or over a Duramax is really because of availability. I had a hard time finding a decent Cummins that wasn't ridiculously high miles, or they wanted way too much money for it. I paid around $13,000 for this truck. I think I got a pretty good deal here in Florida. Diesel trucks do seem to be more expensive. The reason I went over Duramax is because actually I was looking at a Duramax. I wanted to buy a Duramax. It was a very similar truck to this one, a couple years newer. white extended cab, 4-wheel drive, lifted, bigger tires. I think it had 37s on it. Now I chose to go with this because, one, the salesman. I talked to the salesman and I could never get the guy to call me back. It was a couple-hour drive from me, so I actually just ended up giving up on the Duramax. The guy wasn't really to work with me at all, and I wasn't gonna waste my time. So I happened to find this truck online, and I had been watching it for a couple weeks. I wasn't really that interested in it because it looked a lot in rougher shape on the internet for some reason, and it was all the way across the state, like a 3-hour drive. Well, I woke up one Saturday morning kind of bored, and I decided just to go look at it out of something to do, and I'd never been to that part of the state anyways. So I drove over, had a look at the truck. Liked the truck. The truck actually looked a lot cleaner in person. There was definitely a few things that stuck out right away. I knew it needed shocks. I could tell some of the modifications weren't exactly right. The headlights wouldn't work. It actually ended up just being that the switches for the HIDs were stuffed up underneath the dash. The guy who wired the HIDs wired them into a switch, standalone switch, instead of wiring them into the actual switch. So that's kind of the story of how I ended up with this truck. And I love the truck. I don't think I'll ever get rid of it. I mean, I may end up buying a newer diesel one day. I've always loved mega cabs, Rams. And, I may end up doing that one day, adding that to the channel. But I don't think I'll ever get rid of my 7.3. I mean, it doesn't make a ton of horsepower. It's loud. It's obnoxious. You could probably hear it now. But I wouldn't change it for the world. I love this truck. So, you just have to know that when you buy an older truck, you're gonna have to spend some money on it. And I knew that going into the truck. I set money aside for things. It surprised me a few times in some of the videos you'll see. Other than that, I think now I've got it to the point to where it's gonna be pretty reliable for me. It definitely still needs some love. I believe it needs a new torque converter, so that's kind of a big deal. I've been watching my trans fluid to make sure there's no metal shavings in it very closely. So, but I am gonna get ready to do that sometime soon, hopefully. Just wanted to say to the subscribers I do have, you guys have been awesome. Thank you for liking, thank you for commenting. The content's only going to keep getting better. I just bought a new GoPro, the new GoPro 5. So I'm just going to keep improving everything. You're going to get more mods and things like that. I plan on trying to make at least a video a week, if not more. This week it's actually you're probably going to get a couple videos. So it just depends on the time that I do have. But I do plan on to keep working at it and making everything more entertaining and better for you guys. I want to do some things, maybe some how-tos and certain things when they come up. So stay tuned, like and subscribe. Thank you guys.